Hello everyone and welcome back to Age of Nagash, which is a channel dedicated to Age of Sigmar, and in this video we are talking more Warhammer news, which is all about the Kruleboyz for Warhammer Age of Sigmar, but also mainly about the Soulblight Gravelords. So what we'll do is we've got two Warhammer community articles that we'll go over today, which is a common norm we've expected the last few days since this week has really begun, and we'll continue on to I think until the 19th of June, at least, until the Dominion box set for Warhammer Age of Sigmar and the new edition for Warhammer Age of Sigmar basically goes on to pre-order. So in this news for today, it's about the Kruleboyz. I say about the Kruleboyz, I haven't read through the articles, but from what I can gather, it's about, this guy. We've got here some rules for him, and then we got some rules on the Soulblight Gravelords, which is pretty cool. So what I would be interested to know as well from your guys' points of views as well is, what do you think of the news that we are being shown today? Do you like it? Is it a bit lackluster? Because I'll be honest, like the Slaves of Darkness one yesterday, I was quite disappointed in what was shown. It wasn't really anything exciting at all. It was just, I don't know, just boring really. Apart from, there's a few interesting things, but nothing really to do with the Slaves to Darkness, to be completely honest with you. So yeah, let me know that in the comments of this video, but also let me know that in the chat of the video as well. It's been great to hear your guys' thoughts, like we've been doing often as we've been going along, to see what you guys think about everything we have been shown. So with that, guys, let's crack on with our first article, which is not going to be Soulblight Gravelords. We'll leave that to the end because I'm very excited about that, so I want that to be at the end. But this will be about the Dominions, which is also the Kruleboyz, which is pretty cool anyway at the end of the day. So the first thing it says is, the only thing scarier than the Dominions killer boss is the hungry-looking mount they ride. So the Nash Tooth, I think it was called. So while the Kruleboyz are known mainly for their cunning schemes and sneaky tactics, the Uruks that survive long enough to claim a position of authority grow much taller and stronger than the rest of their kind. They become so strong, in fact, that they can even take down one of Sigmar's champions, which you may have witnessed in the new edition's phenomenal cinematic trailer. It was a very cool trailer, so go check that out if you would like to. Basically, you have one of the crossbow orcs shoot the Stormcast, insert a new hero name in the chest. So you have, known as the killer boss, these leaders rule their tribes with an iron fist, always looking out for the next aspiring usurper, aiming a sticker at their back. When they ride to war, they often do so on the back of a vicious carne monster. Carne? Whatever it is, I know that's meant to mean dog, whatever that is. No, I don't mean Kanye West, but monster, although he kind of is one, called a great Nash Tooth, which is capable of tearing off an ogre's head in one swift bite. This makes these units even more fearsome, combatant than usual, as their foes come under a hail of razor-sharp strikes from fanged claws and a sticker, while the boss on top issues all kinds of cunning commands. So someone mentioned this as well in I think it was the reveal video we had for the Dominion box set, and someone said on that comment, apologies, can't remember the name, they said it'd be cool if there's a unit called not Great Nash Tooth, just normal Nash Tooth, which is just like packs of kind of hyena looking naked mole rat, sort of like Chaos Warhound, Direwolf-esque kind of models coming for the Kruleboyz. Would be cool to see. We got a unit of that. So yes, here we are with some first rules. So he's got a 10-inch move, a 3+ save. It's really good. 7 bravery and 10 wounds. I reckon a 3+. We're not going to get any better than that in this army, and I don't think there'll be really many things at all with a 3+ save. So definitely bear that in mind. Like, he could be, just trying to think. So with that all-out defense, you can make this guy a 2-up save if you would like to. The move of 10 is fast. Bear in mind his base is pretty big though. I think it's like a chariot-sized base. And the 10 wounds is a nice addition as well. And I think bravery 7, it's not the best bravery in the game, but I think compared to some of the other Uruks in your army, bravery 7 is going to be quite nice. So then going on to the weapons. So we've got the Jagged Boss sticker. So this is a 1-inch range, 4 attacks, freeze and freeze, -1/2 damage. Same characteristics as a Stormcast. I think some of their new heroes, and it sounds a bit negative when I say that, doesn't it? And there's only so many combinations of numbers they could come up with, but they could come up with a range 2 for the size of that spear. So, okay, so that should be range 2. The Bone Crushing Fangs, 1-inch range, 4 attacks, freeze and freeze, -2 and 2 damage. Okay, I like that. That was scarily close to just being a 1 damage attack that it's just like, it's another mount that looks awesome, which has terrible attacks. But no, so that's all right, to be fair. It's nothing really exciting about. They're exactly the same, the attacks, apart from the Crushing Fang has -2 rend, which I'm not arguing that the beast shouldn't be. Oh, well, I'm not arguing that. Why is the beast, stronger than the guy who rides it? I think the beast looks stronger, everything else. But I think the Jagged Boss sticker should be a 2-inch range. That's the only gripe I have on that ability, those attacks. So it says, many kinds of Gnash Chiefs exist in the swamps of Gur. Okay, so it could be allude to what I was just talking about. With most being the size of a common hound, albeit significantly more aggressive. The expert monster wranglers of the Beast Breaker, however, seek out the biggest and the sort of Smash Tooth, again, apologies about pronunciations, but this is live, to become mounts for their leaders who must endure a punishing rodeo before the beast even begins to bend. Okay, so they've got to tame one of these beasts. They've got to basically bonk it on the head enough with cunning to try and make it be their pet. That's essentially how it works. It says, although scavengers by nature, Great Gnash Tooth delights in snapping up smaller creatures and tearing them apart due to their size. This often includes all kinds of unfortunate humanoids. When they charge into battle, the scent of blood drives them into a frenzy, and these hulking beasts find the urge to pounce on juicy morsels, but irresistible. So, Savage Hound. So this means add 1 to the hit rolls for attacks made by this unit if this unit made a charge move in the same turn. And this is a Great Gnash Tooth, so add 1 to the hit rolls made for this unit in. So that'll help the guy riding as well. Okay, that's a bit weird. I thought it would just help the mount. So that might get FAQ'd or something. Unless he gets a bonus because he's got a big spear and he's charging him, would make sense. So yeah, well that's not bad. So now you're hitting on 2s, so that's good, especially for Urks. So it says, while many Kruleboyz would love nothing more than to feed their boss a length of cold iron, take their place, they hold an awestruck reverence for the sheer levels of cruelty a killer boss can exhibit. Some even become figures of folklore and hero worship as tales of their exploits spread between tribes, and the belief in their cunning plans inspire nearby Kruleboyz to stick around even when the going gets tough. So we then have the all part of the plan rule. So if a friendly Kruleboyz unit fails a battle test with 3-inch of any friendly units with this ability, because we saw it from the normal, I think Killer Boss on foot, only 1 model from that unit will flee. So that's cool. So we saw that repeated, and especially how Battle Shock is definitely going to be a bigger thing now, as it's been announced somewhere. I remember it being reflected in the rules, but I can't remember the exact article it was announced, but it was announced that you can't use like the command ability more than once per phase, or you can't use more than 1 command ability on a unit in a single turn. Something like, or in a single phase, I think it was potentially. So that means you can't spam, Inspiring Presence, which means that the all part of the plan rule is going to be pretty useful, especially for how bad your bravery is probably going to be in your army. And we got Stardog in the chat saying, can't wait to get my hands on the Killer Boss on his mount. Yeah, absolutely awesome model. If I was getting the Dominion box set, that would definitely be my favorite model to paint up for sure, Stardog. So then we go on to say, what's the next bit? So, as savage as the Great Gnash Tooth is, it's by no means the only monster lurking in the swamps of Gur. We've seen the terrifying Maya Brute Troggoth already. So that's the big troll, Troggoth with the cushion to support its lower back with the guy riding it. But rumors that make it out of the darkness mention a fearsome beast known as a sludge raker, and even a winged monstrosity that circles the murky skies above. That's very cool. We're at the end of the article. We are. Okay, so that's the fucking shit I was hoping they were going to show us today when they were talking about, oh, we're going to show you a new beast. When we mean new, we mean we've already shown you it. So it's not new, but it's not out yet, so it's new. Yeah, like that's disappointing because, like I said, I haven't read through these articles yet. So yeah, that's the end. There's no new model being shown. Greedy, we've already been shown loads of new models, etc. Yes, but if they tell us something new's coming, I expect to see it. However, we have got now, like, not rumors, but like, you know, confirmed that there will be other potential models. You know, they're definitely there in the lore, and then potential models like the sludge raker. Is that going to be some sort of like massive slug looking thing? And that's the first one that comes to my mind. Or is it going to be, when it comes to a winged monstrosity that circles the skies, the murky skies above, could be like a new take on a wyvern? Because I know like the Maw Crusher was like, well, that's like the new Auric dragon. That's like the new wyvern. It's significantly different in looks. So like the wyvern would be really, really cool to come back in a form for the Kruleboyz. That would be absolutely awesome. I really, really like it. It could even look like a Nazgul or something, because, you know, they're going with the Lord of the Rings theme. Well, I say Nazgul, I mean the fell beast, the Nazgul rides, of course. So it says, to find out more about these ominous creatures, keep your eyes peeled for our daily information about the new edition of Warhammer Age Sigmar. So it does sound like they will be coming out of models. Get it all delivered conveniently to your inbox by signing up to the newsletter, blah, blah, blah. And be back for sure tomorrow as we look at the new ways you'll be building your armies for match play. So that'd be cool. So we'll be talking about, you know, rules of individual units, exactly else. But that'd be cool to see how we're going to build our armies for match play, because at the end of the day, most of us do play match play. And then we've got Stardog saying that I expected the Troggoth 2. Maybe tomorrow, hopefully, mate. Hopefully, we'll have to wait and see on that one, Stardog. I do agree with you. I really want to be showing new stuff that I can't afford all the time. But then it goes on to say that, which, as you might imagine, is near daily occurrence for the Kruleboyz. Okay, yeah, building your army. I get that. Yeah, cool. Right. So let's now have a look at what we all care about, which is Soulblight Gravelords. Just to say what we get from this, we're going to have a couple of new monstrous units come out for the Kruleboyz, being the Sludge Breaker and the winged monstrosity thing that flies. I don't think they gave it a name. And then it does sound like we could get, you know, Nash 2 smaller units, like I was saying, you know, smaller models, like, you know, they are the Kruleboyz versions of Dire Wolves, Chaos Warhounds, Griffhounds, all those sorts of things. We could look like we'll get it. So that'd be very cool to see, hopefully at some point soon. But the next thing we're going to look at is the Soulblight Gravelords, which obviously are very close to my heart. Big death player here, obviously Age of Nagash. And Soulblight Gravelords have actually just done a why play video on Soulblight Gravelords. So this is particularly going to be interesting to hear. And you're wondering why I haven't watched it yet? Don't worry, it's not out yet, but it will be out soon. So it says, outlast any enemy with the Soulblight Gravelords in the new edition. So if your idea of fine dining is a chalice of blood fresh from the juggler, you're in luck. That's because we're about to take a look at the dread Soulblight Gravelords and how they're looking in the new edition of Warhammer Age of Sigmar. So again, fantastic models. It then goes on to say that so far we've covered the Stormcast Eternals, Auric Warclans, and Slaves Darkness. But today it's time to cover our first death faction. In the days and weeks to come, we'll be bringing you more of these overviews designed to be informative for both new and experienced players alike. On that note, let's learn a little bit more about these deathless servants of Nagash. So also just to say, before we go fully into this, hopefully we learn stuff from it and it actually shows us something new. Where like the Soulblight Gravelords, hopefully not for them. The Slaves of Darkness one yesterday, I didn't really feel like I learned anything apart from just how certain command ability should be worked, which was like the Knights of Chaos. You know, and that's not any stick of the people who give advice and all that, and the people who Games Workshop asked to come on to do articles. Nothing bad at them at all. I just feel like Games Workshop make it sound like they're going to tell us loads of news and information, and it doesn't materialize to anything. And then we got Manda saying that Vampire Count. Oh, Soulblight Gravelords. Well, yeah, I feel exactly the same, mate. But to be honest, I absolutely love Vampire Count. So I'm all on board with the whole, you know, it's Vampire Count, but it's not Vampire Count thing. I really like it. And then we've got Jesse saying really hyped for the Kruleboyz. Yeah, we did. If you just joined Jesse, we did just cover the Kruleboyz. Essentially, it was just some news on the Killer Boss on Nash 2. So you can go check out more of a community article. You can watch it early if you'd like to. But all cool things, but there was that, but also the other cool stuff about the Kruleboyz is they were saying there's 2 new like monstrous units coming out, something that flies above the swamps, and then like a sludge breaker, whatever that is, and then like links to maybe instead of these like great Gnashtooths, who the killer boss rides, the smaller Gnashtooth, like hound creatures, hyenas, naked mole rats, whatever you want to call them, that might come out as like a Chaos Warhound styled unit. So that'd be cool to see. But anyway, going on, it says, who are the Soulblight Gravelords? Again, I plan to do lots of lore videos in this. If you haven't seen them already, check out Doug from 2 Plus Tough. He's probably done a bunch of great lore videos if you're more interested in the small paragraph they give you here. But it says, the origins of the Soulblight vampires can be traced back to the world that was. It was Neferata who, in her jealousy of immortality of the great necromancer Nagash, stole his infernal books of Nagash, just going to call it, seeking to replicate the elixir he had created. Though she was ultimately successful, she advertently became the first of the vampires in the process. Yes, Neferata is the first and oldest vampire, which is why she is my favorite character. Again, amazing artwork here. Really, really nice. It then goes on to say that in the age of Sigmar, Soulblight vampires served Nagash as some of his foremost generals. A few among them even ruling vast swathes of Shyish, the realm of death, as his mortarchs. So that's, Manfred and Neferata. They lead vast hordes of skeletal warriors and freshly raised walking corpses into battle. The advance of the Soulblight Gravelords is heralded by the howl of direwolves, even as the flapping of wings of Filq blot out the light, a sure sign that death has come for those who would stand against Nagash's will. That's all good, and how the mortal realms should be run. Yep, some pictures here. I mean, Black Knights, you never see these guys, but direwolves very cool. It goes on to say that on the battlefield, Soulblight Gravelord armies often comprise large infantry units that are incredibly tough to destroy due to their refusal to stay dead, as your vampires and necromancers replenish lost troops using necromantic wizardry. White infantry and cavalry in the form of Graveguard and Black Knights offer the army durable, hard-hitting. Graveguard, yes. Graveguard, we talked a lot about Graveguard when we did the Why Play Soulblight Gravelords video, which you'll see soon. Black Knights, no, not hard hitting at all. Literally no use, as I see it. And the options, while direwolves and Filq surge ahead of the main army to pick off vulnerable or isolated units, the vampires themselves, included the deadly Blood Knights, are among the game's most formidable units and are very much the unbeaten heart of the army. So Blood Knights, I really like them. I playtested them with a bit, but with the new rules of coherency, the fact they've only got 1 inch range and their bases are the same size as like Chaos Knights, I believe, not as good as they were. So that's sad, and they shot themselves in the foot with that one. So then going on, it says, now that you know a bit more about the Soulblight Gravelords, we'll hand you over to Warhammer Age of Sigmar's playtester and Nagash's Mortarch of Tournaments, Steve Curtis, to tell us more about how they play in the new edition. Yeah, Steve Curtis, lovely person, met him quite a few times. He was the my first and his first tournament game was against each other, and he was playing Cowden Overlords, and I was playing Flesh Eater Courts. Yeah, first book. At Warhammer World, yeah, that was great. That was our first game of at a tournament, and we happened to play against each other. And he's run his own tournament, which is Slaughter in the Shire or Bloodshed in the Shire, something like that. Fantastic guy, great tournament organizer, and fantastic death player. And I believe he was playing a lot of Legion of Blood. So I'm going to be interested to hear what he says, as he does know his stuff. So Steve says the Soulblight Gravelords play using a mix of powerful lords and shambling hordes. Armies can lean into massed ranks of dead walker zombies and death rattle skeletons, elite bands of potent blood knights, or lots of monsters. Whatever your preferred force, the premise is similar. Your heroes will be able to summon back fallen warriors mid-battle, and fully destroy summonable units can be brought back into play via grave sites. That's true. Well, we've got Stardog saying they need to update the Black Knights badly. They are such sweet-looking models and deserve a better war score. I mean, mate, they just updated them. Like, Black Knights were terrible, and then they went to Legions of Nagash, and they were made better, but still not good enough to use. And I've given them countless of tries, like ridiculous amount of attempts to try and make them good. And then I was hoping Soulblight Gravelords, it would just be like they were really bad, and then they were like they're made a bit better, you know, and then we just needed them to be pushed that extra step up, and then for them to be, you know, like a good unit you could choose to build into your army. But eventually they, instead of going up, they just went back down to probably even below what they were at the start of Age of Sigmar, unfortunately. But yeah, I've got 10 of them all painted up, like 5 black ones, 5 red ones. I very much like them. So Steve then goes on to say the Unquiet Dead ability allows you to place 4 gravesite markers before the game starts. During the game, these allow nearby units a chance to negate wounds, let you deploy some ball reinforcements, and allow you to bring back units using the Endless Legion ability at the end of your battleship phase. You can afford to throw units at the enemy, slowing down their advances and merely bringing them back to do the same thing all over again. So this can be key to winning objective-based games in match play, as you can redeploy the units to wherever you have a gravesite marker. And then going on to the abilities, again, this has been reviewed before, but I will say it again. So we've got a Legion's ability, which is Endless Legions. So at the start, so let me say that again properly. At the end, of the Battleshock phase, count the number of enemy units that were destroyed during that turn and roll a dice, adding the number of destroyed enemy units to the roll. On a 5+, you can pick one friendly Soulblight Gravelords Sumble Death Walker or Soulblight Gravelords Sumble Death Rattle unit in your army that has been destroyed. If you do so, a new placement unit with half the number of models in that unit that was destroyed, rounding up, is added to your army. Set up that unit wholly within 12 inches of gravesite and more than 9 inches away from all enemy units. So compared to what the old rule was about Endless Legions and bringing like a dead Sumble unit back, yeah, this is much worse than that was. You know, that's one of the things of the Soulblight Gravelords book what people don't like is that rule got significantly nerfed and just like made a lot worse. I completely agree with that. But I felt like that was a very boring and very one-dimensional way to play the Legion of Nagash book. So I'm happy that they forced you to have to change it up. So that's my personal thoughts on that one. But yeah, you can't rely on this. But it's a nice thing when you can get it, especially if you're bringing back like Grave Guards or even zombies or even direwolves or something like that. Could be used. Black Knights, no. It says the Cursed Bloodlines are the Soulblight Gravelords sub-factions. My personal favourite and the one to watch is the Legion of Night. So you can add 1 to your save rolls for all Dead Walker and Death Rattles in the first battle round and have the option of deploying half your units in reserve. This gives you immense tactical versatility and can put your opponent on the back foot from the off. It's a great way to prepare for taking the second turn, which also gives you a lovely extra command points to use. So the bait, which is add 1 to save rolls for attacks that target friendly Legion of Night Death Rattle and friendly Legion of Night Dead Walker units in the first battle round. So that's obviously very good. You couple that with, all out defense if you want to. That could be +2 to their save roll. So that's very, very good. And but it's only, the first term. So if you're going to go on a bit of an offensive or the enemy's going to alpha charge you, that's where it'll come in use. You really got to make the most out of it in the first battle round. Otherwise, it doesn't have much to it. But the next thing goes on to say is the biggest winners. So being dead already at the start of a battle clearly has its advantage. It's hard to make something even deadlier. Deader? Okay, deader, got you. After all, and when you can replenish your numbers with your opponent's freshly slain warriors, even better. So, but which Soulblight Gravelords units are best served by the updated rules in Warhammer Age of Sigmar's new edition? So Manfred von Carstein, he's certainly got a hell of a lot better than that Soulblight Gravelords book. So it'd be interesting to see why the edition helps them as well. Maybe all out defense and stuff. But we've got Steve saying the Mortarch of Night can cast multiple spells and combinations of the Heroic Recovery ability, to heal, and the hunger shared by all vampires lets him heal up to 2 D3 wounds a turn, if it under certain, circumstances. It then says, so he can stay alive and keep disrupting the enemy. If the enemy gets too close, he can disappear into the shadows using the Mortarch of Night ability to protect himself, and then make the most of the monster keyword by using Roar to stop enemy using command abilities in the following combat phase. That is true. So it means that before he buggers off at the start of the combat phase, the monster abilities, the rampaging monstrous, whatever it's called, monstrous rampages, I think it's called, something like that. He can use that before he buggers off. So yeah, I can see where the synergy is there. I'm just going to catch up with the chat. We've got Amanda saying, my white king will lead my 10 black knights into battle. They look cool, not to use. They look too cool not to use. Yeah, that's fair enough. I won't disagree with you. They look very cool. I've got that. You know, I haven't got the new white king and stuff, but I certainly run them and all that because I think they look awesome. But you know, it just, I'm talking from a competitive point. And obviously, you know, you can play how you like with that one. So going on to Amanda saying also the loss of one attack and one loss of one attack and one strength hurts though. Yeah, I don't really know what you're on about with that one, unfortunately, with that one, Amanda. Stence is saying, will all factions get updates like these? All factions will be given a Warhammer community article. That's what they've told us, where they go over things that help in the new edition. Sometimes the articles are useful, sometimes they're not. That's what we'll get. When it comes to updated rules and everything else for every army, no, not until they have like a new battle tome. That's as far as I'm aware. And then Amanda's saying, probably since though it will take some time. Yeah, exactly. So Amanda's right about that. You know, when they get new books and everything, we can expect updates, but not like through these articles. So we then go on to say, okay, I've already read that. And then we go on to the hunger. So yeah, basically, I'll read it out. It's easier than me explaining it. So at the end of the combat phase, if any enemy models were slain by wounds inflicted by this model, attacks in that phase, you can heal up to D3 wounds allocated to it, which is very true. And then at the start of the combat phase, this model can, if it's within 3 inches, the enemy can teleport anyone on the board 9 inches away from the enemy, basically, which is absolutely great. You can even use Manfred as a bit of a screen if the enemy hasn't got shooting and stuff, and it's just like to try and stop the enemy charging things that can't teleport out of combat. So yeah, that's a really nice ability. And I've already said this with the Mortarks. In a case of like, as someone who owns all the Mortarks, well, the main 3, shall we say, as separate models, it's very sad when you can't really use them too much in the game, bar Archon and like Ostrich Bone Reapers. The other 2 were not useful in Legions of the Blood in particular. And the interesting thing about the Hunger is that like Neferata heals D6, I believe. So yeah, like really, really cool. And then we got Rerolling Ones. Jack is in the chat, giving us a shout out. Hello, mate. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining us. And I hope you're interested in all the, I say news, but mainly just like the tips and tricks they're telling us about the Soulblight Gravelords. But I hope you're doing well, man. Thank you for dropping by. And then we got the Neva one saying, are Blood Knights better than Black Knights numbers wise? What do you mean, like per point? If you compare anything against Black Knights, it's probably better. Blood Knights are good. I haven't played them since like the new coherency rules will come into effect, because obviously that's 3rd edition. But Blood Knights will become a bit worse because they've only got 1-inch range weapons, and then they have to stay within range of each other for model coherency within a unit. Basically, that doesn't just affect Blood Knights; it affects everything with 1-inch range weapons with big bases. What was it? 5 more models, I think, basically. But yeah, they are better than Black Knights, but they do a different job. And then we got Alexander saying, so happy I picked up a box of Vargeist and the Mortar kit in preparation for Soulblight's coming out. Manfred seems like he's going to be great. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'd say build Neferata. That's purely because she's my favorite character, but Manfred is really, really fun to use in the game for sure. And definitely good. And then we got BP Perf saying, Blood Knights much better if you equate numbers, especially with the new coherency rules. Yes, indeed. I mean, you go like minimum size units like 5 with these as well, especially with the I mean, you wish it was 2-inch range to the weapons and you could choose to give them the lances and the swords, but unfortunately we don't have that option. Amanda saying Blood Knights are amazing. That's worth pointing out because they are really. And then rerolling ones, Jack is saying, so got to pay attention so I know how to beat Soulblight Gravelords and what to look out for. Exactly, mate. A lot of it is kill the characters. So it's interesting, Soulblight Gravelords, because the experience I have with them so far, there's so much screening involved. I do with the army of how I run it, and now I won't be able to screen it as well. So initially, it'll be easier to beat them than I'm originally thinking from my last game I played, Jacq. But generally, kill the heroes. It's a good way always to go with death. The enemy can't really do too much if all they have is chaff on the board at the end of the day. But the interesting thing about Soulblight Gravelords is you can play them so many different ways that you're going to need to know the tactics against all of them. But I'll tell you what, Jacq, I am going to be premiering my Why Play Soulblight Gravelords video in the next couple of days. I want to do it on a day where I don't do a community article video, but I think that's going to be every day maybe. So I planned the Why Play video to come out tomorrow. Whenever it comes out, Jacq, check that out, as I'm joined by Alex Tubbs, who's also got huge amounts of experience of playing Soulblight Gravelords, and he certainly points out their weaknesses. So that's like a 2.5 hour video if you ever want to watch it, or like watch bits of it or something. That's definitely good advice you'll find there. And then Manda saying that Black Knights are not. Like, I can see your comment here, Matt. I want to like Black Knights, but I'm just giving you my honest opinion. Like, narratively, you can do what you want. And I'll be honest, going future, forward, everything else, I'm going to be playing more narratively in my personal games, as I care more about the story and why the armies are fighting more than just like getting one VP up than my opponent. I used to be very competitive, and I still am, but like, I just want to sort of like enjoy the story a bit more. And I will be running Black Knights in that, Manda, so don't you worry. Rerunner one saying, awesome, I appreciate all the hard work. No worries at all. Honestly, that video that we did, that Why Play one, we said we'll probably get this done within half an hour, like 2.5 hours later. So there's so much information in that, and we could have talked for double that amount of time if we had it. So there's more there, and then I'll be doing a long in-depth series on Soulblight Gravelords soon, Jacq, as well, if you'd like to check that out. And of course, anyone who doesn't know who Rerolling Ones are, a fantastic YouTube channel that does amazing battle reports. So definitely go check out the lads from there, where Jacq is from, if anyone is interested in learning some of these armies, actually how they play on the tabletop. It's a great channel to check out on that one. And then we've got the Leave one saying now to play, yes, for the win. I'm terrible sometimes at acronyms and stuff, abbreviations. So for the win, yes, absolutely. Massive fan of it. Been playing loads of Silver Tower lately, and like Warcry and stuff. I'm really loving it. But anyway, let's go back to our old friend Steve Curse, who we were talking about. Great guy. Let's see what he says next. So Blood Knights benefit from a couple of standout abilities. Firstly, their 3+ save coupled with all-out defense command ability. Lovely. So I say they get worse. Now I want a 2-up save. Brilliant, right? So it means they're going to stick around. Riders of Ruin lets them make a normal move even when enemies are within 3 inches, trample straight over them, inflicting mortal wounds in the process, then charge straight back into the units with deadly lances for masses of damage. I just want to say that ability there. Riders of Ruin is, I'm not going to go into that ability now, but like, I think I talked about it with Alex, and I talked about a few other people as well. And like me and those other people just don't understand how it wants to work. So I'm really waiting on FAQ before I give advice on how to use synergy with that ability personally. But it's gonna be a nice ability. It's gonna be a benefit. So it's just like waiting for an extra bonus for your unit. So then going on to the command ability. So all-out defense. So you can use this command ability when a friendly unit is picked. Okay, yeah, I don't know why I'm reading that. It gives you a +1 to your save. And also, if you go Castellin, is it a Castelline? Whichever the vampire Blood Knight focused sub-legions for Soulblight Gravelords is, if your guys kill a unit that models consisted of 3 or more wounds, I believe it is, you've got 4 wounds now for each model. So you can have 4 wounds for each Blood Knight, and a unit of just say 5. So that's already 20 wounds on a 2-up save. So like that, you can really make these guys pretty survivable. And you go, oh, what do I have a chuck mortal wound to them? You take a certain artifact, which is only once per game, but if you really want to make the most of it, you can make them a 5-up ward save, and then they reroll 1s because they're balanced. So you can really make them pretty goddamn survivable. Okay, right. I mean, we'll read this, and then we've got 30-odd people in the chat now, so you can tell me if I'm just a simpleton and don't understand it, or if you agree with me and you think it needs an FAQ. So Riders of Ruin, in your movement phase, if this unit is within 3 inches of an enemy unit, it can make a normal move. If it does so, it can pass across other models with a wound characteristic of 3 or less that do not have a mount in the same manner as a model that can fly. After this unit has made a normal move, roll a dice for each enemy unit that has any models passed across by any models in that unit. On a 2+, that enemy unit suffers a D3 mortal wound. So it's kind of like, they fly over an enemy unit and they can do it. I'm just trying to double read it. We're in 3 inches of an enemy unit. So if you're already in combat with it, it can make a normal move. If it does so, it can pass across other models. Yeah, I think the bit I didn't understand is if you have to finish 3 inches away from an enemy unit, or you have to finish within 3 inches of an enemy unit, or you have to finish within the same unit, within 3 inches of the same unit you just were already in combat with. That's what I don't understand about this. But just going back to what we've got here, I'm just going to quickly go down to Yo because he's responding directly to this question. So it's obvious how they want it to work, but it's not written that way for AOS 2. My guess is a retreat and a normal move will be different in 3.0, which is exactly true. And as 2+Tough said brilliantly in his video, he did such a great video. Definitely check out his video if you haven't seen it already. It's basically collecting what everyone's thoughts have been on the internet about 3rd edition. And it's one thing, I can't remember what quote he said, but he said, because he was joking around in that video, he goes, you need to watch my video because I need to tell you exactly how you should think about Warhammer Age of Sigmar 3rd edition, even though we don't know exactly how it actually works. So great stuff. Go check that out for sure. Rerolling one, Jacq said, I think I'd try and convert the Blood Knight models to Black Knights if I was going to run them. That Black Knight kit is showing its age, in my opinion. I mean, that's fair enough. I think with Black Knights, how I acquired them is I think I might a long time ago bought a box of them separately, but I think it's just I bought 3-star collecting boxes for Skeleton Horde where you get a Mortart kit in each one, and it's you end up getting 15 Black Knights that way. I think I bought another box set where I got another 5. If you buy the Start Collecting Soulblight Gravelords box set, you get another 5 there, so you can really rank them up. I think that I like them. I'll say I like them, but I think if they were standing next to the new skeleton models, maybe they will show their age a bit there, Jacq. But I'm all up for converting. I mean, to be honest, before these Blood Knight models came out, I was so close to just converting Chaos Knights into Blood Knights that have dedicated themselves to Khorne. And then, you don't even have to remove the Chaos symbols at that point, but, convert them up to look more vampiric and stuff. Like I've done with my, I'm not going to get them out now, but the guy who rides my big Khorne Dragon, it's actually a vampire who rides that Khorne Dragon, and that Khorne Dragon is a big fuck-off zombie dragon. So all up for converting purposes. Yeah, that's cool. So the next thing we're going to talk about is Dead Walker zombies. So there we go. There's some nice Dead Walkers and some Lumineth that are going to turn into dinner. So Steve then says, big units of shambling dead will ruin any opponent's day. They're the ultimate speed bump. Not only do they take ages to chew through, but they can come back from grave sites and they're newly dead, and your army endless legions let you bring the enemy dead back to fight on your side as well. The Dead Walker keyword synergize with lots of heroes and sub-factions, abilities using a core Necromancer, Corpse Cart, and Dead Walker zombies to slow down the enemy's advance and turn the game in your favor. And the great thing about this is you could use that as wave 1 you send towards the enemy, or maybe Direwolves wave 1 because they're fast enough to get there. And you send these guys wave 2 just to anchor the enemy in their deployment zone. Could be really good. It's something I definitely want to try out myself. We then go on to talk about an ability they have, which is the Newly Dead, which is how they convert the enemy into zombies, which is kind of the main point of zombies, isn't it? So the Newly Dead, if the unmodified hit, yes, it is. Right, so if the unmodified hit roll for an attack made by this unit is a 6, that attack inflicts 1 mortal wound on the target, and the attack sequence ends. So firstly, that part of it is really nice. That's where the damage comes from, these guys. Otherwise, they wouldn't have that much damage output. So I really like that. There's so many ways to get mortal wounds in this army. It's great. And then it says, in addition, and yes, I'm just reading ahead to double check this. I have no idea why this is in addition. And I don't know why this isn't just split into another ability. And I saw like on the Honest War game, they were talking about it, were saying there's so many units, I think they're talking about Luminous Realm Lords, there's so many units where their war scrolls, just like their abilities just double up, and they should just be two separate things. Because in addition, so the fact that you get a mortal wound when you do get roll 6 to hit with the zombies, and then it says in addition, at the end of the combat phase, you can roll a dice for each enemy model that was slain by wounds inflicted by this unit's attacks in that phase. For each 2+, you can add 1 Deadwalker zombie model to this unit. That's fantastic. I really like that. You bring the zombies back. It was easier than it was before, like so much easier. I think you might have needed to roll a 6 or a 5 or something. Legions of Nagash. So massive fan of this. You know, your zombies, if you manage to hit the enemy before they hit you, you can make your zombie unit bigger than it was at the start of the game. So that's cool. And the Horde continues to grow. But that is a completely different ability to the 6s to hit, do 1 more wound. I just think it'd just be easier to read if they just made 2 separate abilities. Completely. So then go on to say that thanks for your thoughts on the Soulblight Gravelords, Steve. Yep, thank you, Steve. Generally know what you're talking about. A very nice person. Like I said, my first tournament player to go against at a tournament, and same for him as well. So definitely check. I don't think he's got a YouTube channel, but check out his Twitter and stuff if you'd like to find out more stuff. But anyway, it says join us again tomorrow when we'll be looking at what the Hedonites of Slaanesh will be looking to take advantage of in the new edition. For now, if you're looking to kickstart the Soulblight Gravelords, grab yourself their start collecting set, blah, 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 blah. Improvement with Graveguard, pretty much. So see how your wizards can cause even more magical mayhem in the new edition with our look at how spells are changing. Don't forget, okay, so I think these are just the older articles, aren't they? See why you're going to have lots more command abilities. Okay, so there's no hint on what tomorrow's army is going to be. No, because I think these, I'm just going to quickly click on these because I think these are like, yeah, this is all the stuff that we've already seen before. Because usually they tell us what we can expect to see tomorrow. And I know they said yesterday how you build your armies and match play and stuff we can expect tomorrow, but usually they gave us a hint to see what next army they'll be showcasing tomorrow, but they haven't, which is, you know, fine. So that is my thoughts and reaction to the Soulblight Gravelords article and the news on the Great Gnashtooth. Now, I'm happy that the Great Gnashtooth got his own article, but they said a new beast was being shown tomorrow, and it wasn't. So just checking up on the chat before we get going. If anyone's got any more questions or anything like that, I'll be ending the stream within a few minutes. So put your questions in the chat and I'll answer them. We just got Yo saying that zombies have been working out amazing for me. Yeah, that's great. I personally don't really own any zombie models. I bought a zombie regiment box, I think it was called, the old zombie models. God awful models. I bought them for basing for my Fleshy Courts. They can't even do that very well. So glad there's new ones out, and definitely interested in maybe purchasing some myself. Neither one saying you could totally screw with your opponent by bringing zombie versions of all their models and chopping them when it turned. Yes, so I'm going to scroll to your thing where you said narrative play for the win, because that is 100% narrative completely there. If there was always like one person you played against as an example, that would be amazing. Like if you really wanted to put in that effort, and let's say, I suppose you can't if it's Warcry and stuff, but like, because there's different rules. But you know, if you were playing 1,000-point games, it'd be a lot easier to do. But yeah, big fan of that. The Never Won, so that's cool. And then we've got Remy saying, I think they said Slaanesh, did they? Did I miss that? Did I? Okay, I must have missed that. I can see Stence saying Slaanesh. Thanks for showcasing. Yeah, they did. Yeah. Absolutely missed that. Don't know why. No idea. Yeah, which is interesting actually, because my biggest armies are, well, for example, in all of they've done them here, Slay Darkness, Soulblight Gravelords, all the Death ones, obviously. But then Slaanesh is a army I'm fond with as well, so that's cool. That's come up tomorrow instead of it just being like loads of armies they don't do for a while. So yeah, you're absolutely right. I missed that. Thank you guys for pointing that out. So Amanda says, I think the Black Knights are still great looking models. That's cool. And to be honest, it'd be boring if we all thought the same thing as well. And then Amanda said, but then I also play Elder in 40k, and most models are old enough to vote and buy beer in the USA. Yes, that is kind of true. Hopefully updates for all at some point soon. But I'll just tell you one thing, Amanda. I really like the old Direwolf models, and that apparently puts me in the 1% of people who agree with that opinion. So, you know, There you go. So don't you worry about that. And then Stence saying you even said it. Yeah, I've read a lot of words here, and half of them go through one ear and out the other. And then I sort of like, if it's not in bold text, I won't remember it. But no, exactly. Well, thank you for pointing that out anyway. And yeah, guys. So with that, I'm going to thank you all for watching this video. If you've got any more questions, like I say, put them in the chat quickly now. I'll put them in the comments of this video, and I'll look forward to reading them and answer them later. I know I haven't answered loads of comments lately, but just been so busy, and I've let all the comments build up, so I'm going to have to sit down for about an hour and go through them. But I'll try and do that as soon as possible, so don't worry if you're wondering why I haven't replied to you. Just simply hadn't had the time, unfortunately, but I'll try and do that as soon as I can. With that aside, guys, I hope you enjoy this video. If you do, please do 3 simple things for me. Might sound simple, best thing, absolutely free to do so. And by the time I explain this, you could have done it about 20 times. And that is by smashing the like button on this video, smashing the subscribe button, and smashing the bell notification. So why am I telling you to smash those 3 buttons? Simply by liking this video, it shows to me that you enjoy content on Kruleboyz, especially the Great Gnashtooth, Soulblight Gravelords, Warhammer community articles, and Warhammer news. By you liking this video, it shows to me that you like it, and I make content depending on what's ever most popular to you guys. So that means more chance of me making content on these sort of subjects. And also, as a plus, YouTube sees people are liking this video, and hopefully will recommend it to other people who are interested in the hobby that haven't came across my channel before, and will see the channel and then will help the channel to grow. So that'd be amazing. And then if you could also subscribe to the channel, that is how at the end of the day this channel grows. So this channel is I haven't done really like a big announcement or anything yet, but I will do soon. But the channel has now hit 6,000 subscribers, which is just amazing. I woke up to that news this morning, which over the moon about. I will be doing a 6,000 subscriber video at some point soon, and I will be doing I want to hint small, but I will be doing a multiple small giveaway with that, because I haven't done a giveaway when I've been hitting these numbers. And I want to do something. I haven't got loads of money at the moment, but it's just something I can give back to you guys and stuff as like a thank you on that one. And then by smashing that bell notification, what that shows to me is that you're enjoying the content so much that you want to be notified every time I put up a video, and it means you'll never miss a future one of my videos, especially if you're expecting and like really enjoying the news and everything we've been showcasing at the moment, or any other series I do. Absolutely for sure on that one. Or if you're interested in knowing when that Why Play Soulblight Gravelord video is, hit that bell notification and you won't miss it. And if you feel like you know someone else who enjoyed this video, make sure you share it with them. And if you would like to continue the conversation we've got going on, as always, please join the Discord we have here at Agent Nagash. It's got like, I think 270, now probably over 270 members, a fantastic community. You know, honestly, it's a community that started about 2 years ago. It slowly grew up and then went boom. And we've managed to keep like, there's like no negativity in it at all. Really, really nice people, helping new people get into Age of Sigmar, showing and sharing people's hobby, talking about like tactics and everything in the game and like how to make the most out of your army. And then also talking about all the news and stuff, of course, as well. So join the Discord, be a champ, and you won't regret it. And also what I want to say as well is a massive shout out, of course, to my patrons and my YouTube members who, because of these people, they allow me to keep doing this. And I'm just going to try and get them up because I haven't done that yet. So I'm going to try and get them up on the screen because I haven't done that yet when I've been talking about this. So can I get them on the screen? Yeah, that's fantastic because these people deserve it. So if you would like to support the channel that step further, please click the join button next to the subscribe button. What that will mean is you would be able to become a member here in Agent Nagash. We can give anything from just £1 a month, and that goes straight towards supporting the channel. Or I have got a link to my Patreon on top of the description down below where you can click, takes to my Patreon, and give anything from just $1 a month. And what that means, it allows me to continue doing this and to keep it up. As I always say, you know, YouTube, if it was a business for me, we're making a lot of money every month for the amount of like resources, time, and money I put into it. But with these people showing me if they're willing to support me on this much for a personal level, it means that I am able to justify putting everything I put into this channel and to keep it going. So if you'd like to become one of these amazing people and keep Agent Nagash going, if you are really enjoying it, click the join button or click the link to my Patreon down below. But the people who have made that absolutely amazing and beautiful decision, it's going to be these people on this list here. So my biggest supporter is going to be my Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon. So this is going to be Filq. So Filq is my top supporter. He's been my top supporter for quite a long time now. Thank you so much for your continued support, mate. It's really, really generous for you at that tier. I don't know what to say, but to keep giving you shout outs at the end of each one of these videos because you really do deserve it. So thank you so much. and hope you're having a great day. So then we go on to my Morgast, who's Bleed Red. He's been my Morgast now for a long time as well, so thank you so much for your continued support, mate. And then my vampires, who are Mir, Stence, Rouse321, David A, Dragoonity. That's how I'm going to pronounce it. That's how it's happening. And then we've got Ronni H, Darren L, SpareBear, Christopher H, Northdrop, Nathan F, Andrew G, Ben C, Wiggy Whooty. Thank you all so much for being vampires and being the main core of what keeps this channel going. You're all so generous and kind. Really makes me happy when I read out your names. So going on to my Necromancers, who is Jacq.l, RadiationRiley, AW77, Sagas, WolfNick, Michal W, Cranky Wombat, Madcap, Krista C, Krista F, James S, Thomas B, Steve T, James T, Patrick F, JJ, R Christopher, and Sception. Thank you all so much for allowing me to keep this up and to help as many people get into Warhammer, particularly Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and continue their Warhammer Age of Sigmar journey. Because of you guys, you've allowed me to help do what I can do to spread this community that we all love and enjoy. So with that, if you could support that way, click the join button or link to the Patreon. If you can't, no worries at all. But if you can't do that, all I ask is if you could smash the like button and the subscribe button and the bell notification, that would be amazing. And it's absolutely free to do so. So honestly, no excuse why you don't do that if you don't enjoy this video. It's the least you can do. But above anything else, I'm just glad that you came and checked out this video today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I just want to read out anything less we've got. So Remy is saying, thank you. You're very welcome, mate. Glad you enjoyed it. Amanda as well. Thank you. Glad you enjoyed it, Amanda. And then Alexander saying, only 6 likes. Let's get those numbers up. I mean, if I could tell like the 27 people watching this like this video, that would be amazing. That would make my day very happy. The 32 people now watching this video could like this video. That would be amazing. And would make it all worth it. And then Stardog is saying, Nagash is all, and all is one in Nagash, which is very true, but I'll just do my quick outro. So, thank you very much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a great rest of your day. Remember until next time to stay safe, stay hygienic. Make sure you wash your hands and you wear a mask. So that means that your dice roll better when you play a game. That's science. That's how it works. But more importantly than any of that, as Stardog has mentioned, it's that Nagash is all, and all is one in Nagash.